Hello, I'm Linda Casey and I'm a local art historian, and I've recently been giving talks to introduce some of the live exhibition screenings at the Courtyard Theatre. Now, Van Gogh's deeply moving, expressive, colourful paintings are some of the most iconic and most loved in the history of modern art. And today they sell for millions. Yet, in his lifetime, he only sold one painting, The Red Vineyard, and that was to the sister of a Belgian artist and his friend, Eugene Gogh. He is one of the most famous artists of the 19th century. His tragic life story is so well known and been represented in many biographies, art exhibitions and films. We know so much about Van Gogh due to his obsessive letter writing, mostly to his younger brother, Theo. In fact, there are 903 surviving letters. 820 of those Van Gogh wrote himself, and 83 he actually received. His letters are fascinating and they describe his paintings, his state of mind, and often are asking Theo to provide more funds for his materials so that he can continue to paint. The tone of his letters tell of joyous highs and the depths of despair. His letters are a literary achievement in their own right, like a diary, but I also believe his paintings are a diary of his life too. He was definitely a late starter and he became an artist aged 27. He died 10 years later, and in his short lifetime, he painted approximately 900 paintings and over 1,100 sketches and drawings. Now, Van Gogh was born the 30th of March in 1853 in Zundert, the Netherlands. His father, Theodorus, was a Protestant pastor, and his mother was Anna. She suffered with mental health issues for most of her life too. But Vincent wasn't the first Vincent, as his mother gave birth to a baby called Vincent exactly 1 year to the day before Vincent was born. But sadly, the baby died. Vincent's early childhood seemed happy and he always yearned for home. The message from his parents was duty and decency, but he struggled to meet their expectations and he always fell short and felt ashamed. He dropped out of school and he went to work for a firm of art dealers, Gogh and Co., part owned by his uncle. Aged 20, he travelled to London to work for Gogh as an apprentice art dealer, earning £90 a year, which today would be approximately £60,000 a year, the most he would ever earn in his lifetime. It's hard to think of Van Gogh walking over London Bridge with his top hat on his daily commute to the office, when we imagine him painting sunflowers and starry nights with frenzied brushstrokes. London is where he fell in love with a 19-year-old Eugenie, who was the landlady's daughter, but there was no happy ending. He was strange and awkward and not very successful in the love department. There are accounts of unrequited love, obsessive love. He even caused a family scandal obsessed with his cousin Cornelia, and another scandal with a pregnant homeless prostitute known as Sienne. Aged 22, he got sacked from Goupil's and he became a teacher, teaching French, German and arithmetic in a school in Ramsgate, Kent, and later in Isleworth, West London. Then he tried to pursue a career as a religious missionary and tried to become a preacher like his father, but everyone laughed at him and he became lonely and melancholic. Then he travelled to Belgium for a short while as a missionary in the Belgian coal mines, where he sketched and painted the life of peasants. One of his first masterpieces, The Potato Eaters of 1885, is a dark canvas, a portrait of a family of peasants all eating together, yet he elevates them to seem like a holy, sacred family. He's often called the pilgrim painter as he travelled to many places in his short life, visiting more than 20 cities in the 4 countries of the Netherlands, Britain, Belgium and France. Van Gogh just seemed to fail at everything. Aged 27, he became an artist. In 1886, aged 33, Theo, his brother, invited him to Paris. But by this time, Theo was a very successful art dealer. So while he was in Paris, Van Gogh rubbed shoulders with the movers and the shakers of the Impressionists and the post-Impressionist painters. And in Paris, he himself painted 22 self-portraits amongst other paintings, and collected Japanese woodblock prints, which then totally transformed his style and technique later. After 2 years in Paris, he went to Arles in Provence, looking for a quiet life. It felt more like home. He painted landscapes and he added colourful brushwork and strong, intense colours which were contrasting each other in that hot southern sun. Arles was a place of hope. Van Gogh rented the Yellow House. Paul Gauguin was going to join him, and together they would create a small artist colony. Van Gogh was so hopeful, and while he waited for Gauguin to eventually join him, he painted his iconic sunflowers to decorate the Yellow House and to impress Gauguin. Some flowers were paintings of hope, yet when we look at them, we often fail to notice the decaying flower heads, the blooms flopping over the vases. Despair was never far from Van Gogh's mind. When Gauguin finally arrived, it was a time of turmoil. They didn't get on. The relationship was explosive, and it only lasted 9 weeks of working together. When Gauguin threatened to leave, Van Gogh suffered his major breakdown, resulting in him cutting off part of his ear and handing it to Rachel, his favourite prostitute in the local brothel. Van Gogh was hospitalised and then voluntarily committed to a nearby asylum in St Remy for a year. During his time in St Remy, he had access to a studio and materials, and he painted some of his greatest masterpieces, his irises and the visionary landscape, The Starry Night. In May 1890, aged 37, Van Gogh moved to Auvers-sur-Oise, a town 20 miles from Paris, to be cared for by a well-known homeopath, Dr. Paul Gachet. In the last 70 days of his life, he painted 70 paintings. On Sunday, July the 27th, 1890, he went out early to paint in the fields of Auvers, returning later staggering towards the inn where he was staying. He told the family he was wounded, but he shot himself in the chest. Theo rushed to his brother's side the following day, and the official story of his death is that he died on Tuesday, the 29th of July, with an infected gunshot wound. Even his death had been questioned as suspicious, but that's another story. The truth will probably never be known. A really sad fact, and I think spiritually touching, is that Theo died 6 months after Vincent in January 1891, also in a haze of mystery, after being committed to the asylum. In 1914, Theo's body was exhumed and the 2 brothers were laid to rest side by side in Auvers Cemetery, overlooking the landscape of Vincent van Gogh's last painting, Wheat Field with Crows. So in conclusion, there's no doubt Van Gogh was a tortured soul and also a creative genius. passionately searching for his artistic ideals, stability, and searching for himself. Van Gogh himself said, "I put my heart and soul into my work, and in the process, I lost my mind." Van Gogh has the ability to communicate all emotions through his paintings, using his unique visual language of subject matter and his distinctive painting techniques, and using the power of colour. And in doing so, he has the ability to touch our hearts and soul. Enjoy the screening and bye for now, but keep safe. Thank you.